everyone, Miss Meek here with a quick 5th grade review on multiplying and dividing whole numbers. So multiplying and dividing whole numbers. Now we will be doing this a lot in 6th grade math, and so it's going to be really important. We also are going to learn how to multiply and divide decimals, so we have to have a strong game in whole numbers, multiplying and dividing them. So let's review this real quick. When it comes to multiplying whole numbers, remember that when I set this up in the standard algorithm, my longest number goes on top. So for number 1, my 456 is going to go on top times my 37. I line up the numbers by place value. So this is really similar to like adding decimals or adding numbers, subtracting numbers. You line them up by place value. Let's go ahead and jump in and start multiplying. When I multiply, remember what's happening here is that I am multiplying this 7 to the 6, the 7 to the 5, and then the 7 to the 4. And then once I do that, okay, I'm done with the 7. So let's go ahead and start multiplying that out. 6 times 7 is 42, carry your 4. 7 times 5 is 35, plus the 4 is 39. And then 7 times 4 is 28, plus 3 is going to be 31. I am now done with the 7, so I am going to cross out that 7. I am also going to get rid of all of those things that I carried over because I no longer need it. Now, we can't just pretend the 7 never existed. When I multiply a 3-digit times a 2-digit, you have to maintain the place value, meaning that I'm going to put a 0 down to hold the place value of that 7 that I just crossed out. Now, I am going to be multiplying the 3 times the 6, 3 times 5, and then 3 times 4. And then once I do that, I'm ready to start adding my numbers. So let's go ahead and add those things, or multiply those things. 3 times 6 is 18, carry my 1. 5 times 3 is 15, plus that 1 I carried is 16. And then 4 times 3 is 12, plus that 1 I carried, which means that I have 13. Our next step is to add all of those numbers together. So 2 plus 0 is 2, 9 plus 8 is 17, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 1 is not being added to anything. So my final answer is going to be 16,872. All right, let's take look at something a little bit harder. We're multiplying a 3-digit times a 3-digit. So I am going to plug this into my standard algorithm. Standard algorithm just means the standard way that we set up a multiplication problem. This model that I just wrote. Same thing as before. I'm going to be multiplying this 2 times 6, and then 1 times 6. And then I'll be done with the 6. All right, so 3 times 6 is 18. Carry my 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 6 times 1 is 6, plus that 1 that I carried over is 7. I am now finished with the 6, so I'm going to cross it out, and then I'm going to put down a 0 to hold the place value of the 6. Okay, we don't want our numbers to get misaligned. I'm also done with this 1. And so I'm going to erase these 1s because I am no longer using them for anything. Now it's our turn to multiply the 5 out. We're going to do 5 times 3, then 5 times 2, and then 5 times 1. And then we'll be done with the 5. So 5 times 3 is 15, carry my 1. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, carry my 1. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. And then I am now done with the 5. Now here's the tricky part that a lot of students tend to forget how it works. Is not only do I have to continue to put the placeholder down for the 6, but I also now have to put down a placeholder for the 5. And now my last step is to multiply out this 4. So 4 times 3, 4 times 2, and then 4 times 1. And then we'll get to add. 4 times 3 is 12, so I carry my 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and then 4 times 1 is 4. Add all of these numbers together. I have an 8, another 8. There's a little dot there that doesn't belong. Oh no, Let me fix that. Sorry about that. There we go. Another 8. Here, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. Carry your 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 9 is going to be 16. Carry my 1. And 1 plus 4 is 5. So my final answer is going to be 56,088. 56,088. Okay? Let's talk about dividing real quick. When we come to dividing, to set up a standard algorithm for dividing, so the standard way that we divide, we have a division house that looks like this. One number goes inside and one number goes outside. The number that goes inside is called the dividend. It is going to be your first number. So your dividend is 1,428. It goes inside of your division house. The number that goes outside of the division house is called the divisor. The divisor. It's the number that you're trying to see how many times fits into your dividend. And it goes on the outside of your division house. So that's how you would set up that type of problem. So go through step by step each number and see how many times 14 goes into it. 14 does not go into 1, so I put a 0. 14 does go into 14 one time. 1 times 4 is 14. I subtract, I get a 0. Bring down my 2. 14 goes into 2 0 times. So this is going to be a 0. 0 times 14 is 0. Subtract, bring down your 8. 14 goes into 28 2 times. 2 times 14 is 28. I subtract, I get a 0, and that means that I am done. I have no more numbers left to divide into. I got a 0 down here at the bottom. This is really important, and so that means that my number is finished. I have a final answer, 102. Let's take a look at number 2. Remember that your first number is the dividend, so it is going to go inside of your division house. That comma is in the wrong spot there in that number. And that our second number here is the divisor, and it goes outside of the division house. Now, 120 does not go into 1. 120 does not go into 18, but 120 does go into 182 only one time. 1 times 182 is 120. So 1 times 120 is 120. Sorry, I think I said that wrong. 2, subtract, I get 62. Bring down your 4. All right, this is where you may have to do some guessing and checking. I am going to, over here to the side, figure out how many times does 120 go into 624. I'm going to guess maybe 5 times. Let's check it out. 5 multiply is 600. Yeah. Okay. So 5 times 120 is 600. I subtract. I get 24. Bring down that 0. And 120, I know that if I multiply it times 2, that's going to give me 240. So I know that 120 goes into 240 2 times. 2 times 120 is 240. I subtract. I get that 0, which means that I am done. And so my final answer is 152. I hope that this video kind of jogs your memory on how to multiply and divide whole numbers. I hope that this helps, and we'll be talking to you soon.